Hi, I'm Ken Matt, and welcome back to the Goldstrike video installation series. Today we're going to be installing our fork-mounted nav lights. These have a running light and a turn signal. They're pretty easy to install. I'll walk you through the steps, so let's get right to it. Alright, we're ready to get going here. I'm actually going to take off the front fender to make it easier to film so I can get into the camera and show you what we're doing. You can leave the front fender on, you do not need to take it off. So I'm just going to pop that off quick, and then we're going to take off the reflector. And there's a little grommet in behind, a rubber grommet that needs to come out. And I'll show you what we can do with that. So we'll take that off, and that just takes a minute. Inside of the fork there's a rubber grommet, and that needs to come out so we can access the bolt to get the reflector out. It's easier to get it from the front side, so we'll go in there. That's all it is. It's just a little rubber grommet. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to get that reflector bolt out back here. I've got a little detailed picture of it you can see. See that little bolt right in there? That's where we're going to get up into. So that's where that grommet came out of. But that's just a 8mm. It's good to use a 1/4 inch ratchet with an 8mm socket on there like that. Works the best. Just get it in there. It's about centered in the top area, right about there. I get it most of the way out and I finish it by hand because you don't want to drop that little teeny little nut down into the hole. So this comes off like that. Some of them will have adhesive here, some don't. And this is just a really small little, easy to drop as you can see. You've got the grommet out. Now we need to cut a little slit in it so the wire has a place to go through. So on the back side of the grommet, this one's actually already cut, but you can kind of see where there's a slash mark right there. You can just take a knife and just cut right through it. This is your light, of course, that gets fed through here. Just like so. And there's the threading. It goes through it goes on just exactly how the reflector came off. Now, if you were going to run fork covers, these, the way that you're going to want to do it, and we're going to run the fork covers on this bike, so I'll show you. The fork cover video of how to install these and how these work, especially this piece here, will be in the links below. I did a whole separate video on how to install these. But if you have these, you want to run on the outside of that, and then snap those on. There's adhesive on the back side. So what you would do is you peel this adhesive off, make sure this is nice and clean off some Windex, and you'll adhere that right onto there. Put the screw on from the back side, and then you can run the wires, which I'll show you in a minute too. I should say we're not gonna take this off. We're gonna leave this just the way it is because I'm going to put the fork covers on. So I'm gonna put the fork covers on, and then we're gonna put this nut on the back side that goes here, and then after that we're going to put the grommet back in and run the wires. All you have to do is get it snug. Do not over tighten it. I'll stay in there just fine. Put these fork cover bolts back in. You know, again, if you're not running these fork covers, you don't have to do this step. Now we've got our grommet. Like I said, we've got this aiming towards the back side, so we need to feed this through accordingly. Once you've got the wires routed, you want to run it in between kind of the back between the wheel and the fender here. And these are the brake lines coming off. I would zip tie it right away to one of these brake lines. You want to make sure you pull it taut. You know, not so you're going to rip the wire up, or pull it tight so it's not, you can't touch the tire. So you'll reach inside there and make sure you can feel it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow these brake lines up and around. And we'll feed that up all the way up through to the top side, where we'll continue the wire route. At this point, what you need to do is take the seat off. So we're going to start by very simply doing it. You open up your saddle bag, pop this cover off, and this allows you access to a screw that's right there. So I leave that in there, you can see it. It's a 6mm. You need an Allen for it. Just pull that out. There's a washer with it too a lot of times, so be careful of that. And you'll have one on the other side. Same procedure. Pop that out. Now your seat's almost ready to come off. So you want to make sure you get this right here. Is your electric heater on your seat. That comes out like that. Now lift your seat up here. It'll pop up there, and pop up there. Like that. Pull it up. Now under here. Guy up, and that pops your seat off. Your next step is to take all these wires. On this particular version, I'm doing the NAV lights in the front and the rotor cover lights, so I can show you at the same time. It's no different if you're running one or if you're running four. There's a few different ways to do this. I'm going to show you today how to run it down the right side of the bike. It'll go in behind all these panels here without taking the panel off. If you decide you want to take the panels off, you can take this whole section off too. I'll link to a video below that'll show you how to do that, but it's a little more involved. This is a quick way of doing it, and this is what we recommend. So to start off, as you can see, this is just a normal zip tie, large zip tie. You can get these at any hardware store. It's like $4 for a set of 5 of them or so. I use this to fish through the bodywork to get to the wiring, to get to the front, to attach the wiring tool and pull it through. I've already fished this one through, as you can see here. I put tape on it, blue tape, just to be able to see it better in the camera. So what it will do now is once that's fished through, starting down here and working your way up, we'll tape the wires down to it. So I'm going to start that process right now. So the way you want to tape this is to run this in line like that. And then I like to just wrap the tape around it. And the first one, I like to make sure we get the connector itself covered, because with that connector covered, it'll slide through a lot easier. It'll be a lot less susceptible to snagging on something on the inside. So it should look something like that, as you can see there. And then what I'll do is I'll just put each other connector. So there's one, and the second one I'll put right behind it. Once I've got all 4 of them in a row here, I like to just put one piece straight down like that to keep a smooth path going through. Helps to keep all the wires together. Makes it slide through a little easier. Then I'll wrap the front of it. So peel. Now, you've got that all done. All you gotta do is pull it through. Sometimes you need to help it a little bit. You don't want to force it, but just kind of pull. And it'll all come through. Now that'll be coming through this side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's all 4 of your connectors, so they go right through. Now we'll undo the tape. We'll straighten out the wires in this area here to make sure that they don't connect with the steering or anything like that, and the suspension go up and down. You want to give them enough slack so that you don't have a problem up there. And then you just plug this into our harness. Once you've got the wires through, you can see I've got them off of the zip tie that we used to pull them through. You want to be careful of one thing. On these, you'll see the difference between these two here. You need to watch, see that orange rubber seal right there that came off of one of these. When you're untaping them, you just want to be careful that you don't lose that little rubber seal, because that seals out the weather. And if you do, just put it on. But sometimes they'll stick to the tape. So just something to be careful of. Take a look at those. So that pretty much takes care of the installation and wiring of these. Now you just have to put your seat back on, and here you are on the road.